Cop pulls gun at black woman, laughs at her CIA badge. Minutes later, he's in cuffs. Before we dive into today's story, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Monica Hayes had been on the road for an hour, the night pressing in around her like a heavy coat, still thinking about the top-secret meeting she had just left. As the newly appointed CIA director, and the first black woman to ever hold the role, she was used to pressure. Long hours, tough rooms, bigger threats. But what she wasn't used to was trouble on a deserted stretch of highway where power and title meant nothing. Then it happened. Red and blue explosions swallowed her rearview mirror. She glanced at the speedometer, exactly 65 miles per hour. No speeding, no wrong moves. Yet the police cruiser didn't back off. Monica sighed, her chest tightening, and carefully pulled over, her mind already racing through the checklist of survival. She knew the law. She knew her rights. But she also knew that sometimes none of it mattered. Through the mirror she watched the officer approach, stiff posture, hand hovering near his gun. His flashlight beam cut through the darkness, blinding her. She rolled down her window, keeping both hands in plain sight on the steering wheel. "Good evening, officer," she said, her voice calm, professional, and deliberate. The officer didn't greet her, didn't explain the stop. "License and registration," he snapped, cold and mechanical. A warning prickled at the back of her neck. "May I ask why I'm being stopped?" she asked evenly, chewing her gum slowly to mask the pounding in her chest. He stared at her for a beat too long, then repeated, "License and registration." Monica hesitated. Her instincts, the same ones that had saved her life in countries most Americans couldn't even pronounce, screamed, "This isn't routine." "Sir, I'm reaching for my purse on the passenger seat," she said carefully. No response. She moved deliberately, pulled out her wallet, and handed him her CIA credentials along with her license. The officer didn't take them. His eyes flicked over the ID, then back to her face. "CIA?" She nodded once, tightly. Then his next words twisted the night even darker. "Step out of the vehicle." Tension coiled in the air. Monica's heart remained steady by force, but her mind moved like lightning. "Excuse me?" she asked, her voice clipped. The officer took a half step back, his right hand now hovering even closer to his weapon. "Step out." Her breath slowed, sharpened. This wasn't a traffic stop. She had read reports like this, investigated scenes like this, and now she was the one on the wrong end of the flashlight. Two choices: comply and risk whatever he had planned, or resist and risk escalation. Before she could decide, the officer grabbed for the door handle. That's when she knew, this isn't about the law. It's about control. Her left hand shot out, clamping over the door handle from the inside before he could wrench it open. "Step back, officer. You're out of protocol," she warned, her voice steel under silk. His grip tightened. "I said step out," he barked, all pretense of professionalism gone. Monica had faced men like him before, men who thought a badge turned cruelty into authority. This wasn't about her ID. It wasn't about the rules. It was about domination. Just then, headlights bathed the scene. Another police car pulled up. Relief flickered in her chest, briefly, until she saw who stepped out. Another officer. Tall, broad-shouldered, no nameplate, no body cam. Reinforcements, not backup. They exchanged a look that made her blood run colder than the night air. "This the problem?" the second officer asked. The first officer smirked. "Just a non-compliant driver." The two officers closed in. "Ma'am, step out of the vehicle," one of them ordered. Not Director Hayes, not even Miss Hayes. Just ma'am. Disposable, replaceable. Monica's hand tightened on the steering wheel. She knew what was happening. She knew what would happen if she moved wrong. They would write the report. They would own the story. And she might not live to refute it. Slow breath in. Focus. Then it happened. The first officer grabbed her wrist. Too hard, too fast, pain flaring through her arm. She jerked back instinctively, heart hammering. "Get your hands off of me," she shouted, her voice cracking the heavy night. The second officer reached for his radio. "We have a non-compliant suspect," he said, his voice already shaping the narrative. Not a woman, not the CIA director, a suspect. Then, metal flashed. Before she could react, the first officer pulled his weapon. The cold barrel hovered inches from her face. Silence fell, deep, suffocating, endless. Then, "I'm recording this." A voice cut through the dark. She twisted her head slightly. A man stood at the edge of the road, holding up his phone. The glow of the screen lit his determined face. He was capturing everything. The officers hesitated. Uncertainty flickered. More sirens. More flashing lights. Backup was coming, but not for them. The officers froze as new units surrounded them. Then, Director Hayes, a uniformed officer, recognized her at last. Everything shifted. The first officer's gun lowered. He was arrested on the spot, handcuffed in the gravel. His partner suspended on the scene. By morning, the video had gone viral. By noon, the Justice Department launched an investigation. By nightfall, charges were filed. Monica had seen justice delayed before, but not tonight. Tonight, justice fought back, and it won. Listen carefully. This wasn't just about one bad cop. This was about a system that lets them survive and thrive. If this story moved you, don't just share it. Don't just whisper about it. Speak up. Stay loud. Demand better. Because justice isn't given. It's fought for.